We all please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Need a bigger state. Can I get a roll call?
Ms. Smith? Here. Mr. Mutner?
Here.
Mr. Logan?
Here.
Ms. Esposito?
Here. Who would like to audit the bills?
Oh, sure, I would. Like to make a motion to approve abstract number 9 dated May 16th, 2025 in the amount of $656,679.48. So moved.
Second. All in favor? Aye. We have some budget adjustments.
Yes, we have budget adjustment request number 7. The effective date is May 28th, 2025. And I'd like to enter this budget adjustment request into the record as though read. So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We also have budget transfer request number 8. Effective date May 28th, 2025 for the highway fund snow removal contractual. I'd like to enter this budget transfer request into the record as though read. So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Sean, you're up.
Okay, we have a couple of EMS requests. First one is from Robert Kearns, our EMS administrator, who is recommending that the town of Patterson hire Shannon Gray as a part-time emergency medical technician at a rate of $20.25 per hour. So without objection, I would like to move that we approve this resolution, and ask that it be entered into the record as though read. So moved.
Second. All in favor? Aye.
Likewise, Mr. Kearns also recommends that we hire Emily Curlin as a part-time EMT, also at a rate of $20.25 per hour. Without objection, I'll ask this resolution be approved and entered into the record as though read. So moved.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Okay, next we have a request, or not a request, I'm sorry, a notification of a resignation of one of our EMTs, John Gonzalez. It's for a good reason. He is resigning to accept a new opportunity. He's grateful for the opportunities the town of Patterson gave him. And of course, we will wish John Gonzalez much success in his future endeavors. And I'll make a motion we approve his resignation effective May 29th, 2025. So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye. And lastly, from our EMS department, we have a request for some lettering that is required on one of the rigs, vehicle 36-1-2, some lettering and striping in ghost reflective. We have a bid, in this case from Extreme Designs for $1,050. I'll make a motion we approve this non-bid procurement request form for an amount not to exceed $1,100 to Extreme Designs. So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye. We have a proposal from our contracted cleaning service, and I never get their name exactly right. Engineering Cleaning Services to burnish the vinyl floors in Town Hall and the Patterson Courts. I will make a motion to approve this proposal. The amount is $225 for Town Hall, $175 for the court. So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Set.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the town board had previously put in a request to our state legislature through our representatives, Assemblyman Matt Slater and Senator Peter Harcum, for a home rule request so that the town could enact a law that would have a hotel tax as a way to perhaps generate some additional revenue should we ever get a hotel in the town of Patterson. And we have received notice that it's been submitted. And the next step in the process is the town has to adopt a resolution. It's a strange way to do it because we have to make the request after it gets submitted. Then we have to do a resolution asking for it to be considered. So this is a resolution which has the hotel tax language attached to it. I'd like to ask that this resolution be entered into the record as though read. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right. Next up, we have a couple of change orders for work that's being done for the water extension on Dorset Hollow. The first one is for Reva's Construction. When we went out there and the electrician started looking at some of the boxes that needed to be changed out, he felt that they needed to be actually changed out. They were supposed to be just moved, and we can't simply remove them. They're pretty bad condition. So I would like to introduce change order number 3 for Remus Construction to change out the electric boxes and some wiring in the amount of $17,875, and ask that the resolution be entered into the record as though read. Can I get a second? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, next up, we have a change order number 1 for Merritt Construction. They're the company that actually installed the water line. As they were installing the water line, they found that the water line was going to run somewhat close to a sewer line that we have here, requiring that it be encased in concrete. The amount of the change order number 1 is $4,807.58. I'd like to introduce this resolution for Merritt Construction, change order number 1, asked to be entered into the record as though read.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And last up, we would like to do some changes at the front desk and move some staff around. We are currently short some staff in the town clerk's office, and would like to move someone from the front desk in part-time. That's going to require us to hire an individual. You have a memo here from our town clerk requesting the hire. I'd like to actually go into a brief executive session before we act on this, so that we can talk about the particular individuals. And then we'll come out, but that's what next thing is, to hire a new part-time receptionist for the front desk. So, and I will table that to the end of the meeting.
Okay.
That is it for me for the moment.
Very nice.
All right.
Okay, so with summer right around the corner, Mr. Matchabar has been very busy getting his staff together. He has some requests. The first one is rate and responsibility increase for Alicia Nitty. Matt is requesting that she be increased to the hourly rate of $18.50 per hour, as this is that she's currently at $15.45, which is also below the New York State minimum. So I'd like to make a motion, as long as there's no objection here, to make the new rate effective retroactive to the start of the current payroll, May 25th, 2025. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Brief discussion. I just want everybody to know that the town is required to pay the minimum, the federal minimum wage, not the state.
Okay.
Why some of our employees are actually below
Okay.
the state.
Yeah, I actually texted him to confirm the exact, what the minimum wage was, because I thought that was kind of high. So, okay. I don't think he got a chance to answer me. Okay, second is the CPR training for first aid and the compensation request for the employees that will be taking the CPR. Matt would like to send up to 4 employees, payment not to exceed $380 for the training. This is already included in our budget line, and also he is requesting that the staff members be compensated for the time that they attend the first aid and CPR training. So I'd like to make a motion to approve the 4 employees at the rate of $95 per person, and the training be compensated for the training time. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Okay, we have some hiring of new hires and supervising guards. I'd like to make a motion to approve the lifeguard candidates at the rate of $16 per hour. These will be first-year guards. We have Julia Ferreira, Daniel Krupenya, Ryan Rodriguez, Joseph Lagan, Emma Antolowski, and Taylor Finney. I'd like to make a motion that they be approved at this rate, and that all paperwork and certification be completed before the start. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Second, he has the role of supervising lifeguards. He'd like to appoint Nick Del Balzo and Mary Ellen Mazzola. And their the supervising lifeguard is in the 2025 budget line. So I'll make a motion to approve both of those employees as supervising lifeguard. And of course, all pending paperwork be completed. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Next, we have Logan Wild. Mr. Chavarro is requesting an hourly rate increase. Logan has just completed his freshman year of college. He's always been very reliable and hardworking employee. His current hourly rate is $13.31. I'd like to make a motion to approve Logan's hourly rate to $14 per hour and make this hourly rate increase effective retroactive to the start of the current payroll period, May 2025. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We have some rec assistants for the town of Patterson at the rate of $14 per hour. I'll make a motion to approve Antonio Galizia and Ryan Federico as recreation assistants for the town of Patterson Rec Center, per all paperwork being submitted to Sue Brown prior to the start of employment. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Okay, and that's it. Lastly, we have the municipal shelter inspection report from the Agriculture and Markets, which was completed on 5/8/2025. The inspection relates to the agricultural markets laws and regulations, which may be viewed on the website. Kim Volpe, the animal health inspector, inspected our shelter that we use for the dog warden when dogs are seized. And I'm happy to report that came out. Things were checked from, the shelter being structurally sound to the, clean food and water, intake, disposition papers, records maintained, and came out great. I mean, to no surprise, I use Brook Farm. They're a great animal veterinary clinic. So I'd like to make a motion to accept this report provided to us by the Agriculture Markets District held on 5/8/2025. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All set?
I'm all done.
Joe, you're up.
Okay. So I have a request from the Patterson Fire Department to move some funds for their new radios. I think there's a story here and maybe we'd like to open it up to.
Well, I believe the Patterson Fire
Fire
Department is
Department is
here
here.
to talk to the board about what they're proposing to do. So
Sure.
who is stepping up first?
So pull that mic a little closer. Me?
Whoever wants to tell the story.
How's everyone doing?
Good. How are you?
This thing on? I think so. Those that don't know me, my name is Joe Pinatelli. I'm the current chief of the Patterson Fire Department. And so here tonight for any questions you guys have. So who wants to start?
So why don't you tell us what you're planning on doing and why it's necessary?
So the current radio goals that we're asking for is basically the county has switched radio frequencies. That being said, that means that we kind of have to switch just for the sake of safety reasons is the #1 priority. And communication with our surrounding departments. Our closest mutual aid within Putnam County has already switched over, and one of them being Putnam Lake, which is also the town of Patterson. So like as of right now, they are currently operating on a completely different fire ground frequency than we are. So in order for us to really communicate, if we were to have a major incident, so for someone like myself, who would be considered an incident commander, I'd have to be carrying like 3 radios to keep in contact with everybody when we're operating. So it's kind of put us in a little bit of a predicament. We thought there was going to be a little bit longer, but the county decided to switch over now.
That's what I was gonna ask.
And my understanding is the county has given you mobile radios for each of your first line vehicles.
Yes, so the
And-
county has provided us mobile radios for all our frontline apparatus, those being like our engines, tankers, rescues, things like that. The only thing we have to supplement would be like our couple utilities that we have. And then besides that, they also gave us portable radios along with that, those frontline apparatus. The only thing we have to supplement on is like the back step that we call, so our seats in the back would be for the portables.
So, but the portables, they were one portable per truck and you have
Yes.
multiple members on each truck,
Yes.
hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we do a pretty good job at that
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah,
Alright.
our rigs are anywhere from 6 to then the utilities come down to like 4 or 5, so.
Okay. You had sent a email over showing that how you were going to break some of this down.
Yep.
Where you're borrowing from certain funds. You're not gonna run into any trouble not having money in those funds, or is this something we're gonna have to make up next budget?
Nope, I don't think we'll have to make up any of it. We feel pretty comfortable on the money we're moving around to make this purchase. Just to reiterate that, we're not asking for any money, so this is all out of stuff that we have. And then anything we do not spend, like for instance, we'll go back into the truck fund, which I know is always a major topic every time we sit down every year, so.
All right, so with what you sent over, you're still $66,200 short, which you're going to take out of unrestricted funds.
Yes,
Can you expand on that at all?
so part of that being like our fundraising account,
Okay,
would be one of them. And then, we do have, some donation money that is specifically allocated to, firematic equipment. It comes from, one of the members inside the firehouse, so they do that every year, so that kind of money's kind of built up, so using some of that money.
all right. So essentially, all we're doing here tonight is we're approving the fire department to make the expenditure for the additional radios and reallocating the funds from the various reserved accounts.
That's correct.
All right. I do want to say one more thing. I'm still waiting for confirmation, but I believe that we are still the town from 2020 and 2021. We're still holding about $10,000 towards the radios that we can pass on.
Okay,
All right,
Yeah.
so there may be a little bit of help there.
perfect. I
Does any
appreciate it.
board member have any questions about this?
I wanted to ask, and I don't know if you're the right person to answer this, what changed from our budget conversations? Because I remember having a conversation about radios and money being allocated and it not being maybe as much as we thought it would be, and you had an explanation about, well, this is why we're doing what we're doing, we don't need these extra radios, unlike maybe some other departments nearby. And so I wondered what's changed. It's got to be more than just that the county changed their rollout date.
So part of what changed is also like the information we received from the county on the end. So, we all know like this, I shouldn't say we all know, but at least on our end, this whole radio project goes back to, at least for me, when I sat on as an assistant chief.
Mhm.
So we're going back for at least 6 years now. And I know it started at 5. So every year it kind of, and I'm not gonna name names or point
Sure.
fingers, but it kind of changed on what we were allowed to do, what we were gonna be able to do. So as we started getting to the final, what they call the final end of it, which is where we sit today, what we're allowed to do and the capabilities with it. So we're taking the advantage of this and us being allowed on the system completely and using it to have better communications, not only for safety reasons for our members who are responding, but also within the county, with our mutual aid departments.
Yeah.
Like we all know that, we go up to polling a lot, as it's sat, like we only had one mobile radio in our rigs that could communicate. And if someone like myself as an incident commander, one of the battalions in the county weren't there, someone really couldn't relay. So now with this whole new radio system that the county's implementing, it gives us an opportunity at least to have our officer in our rig to communicate on their frequency and have contact like with our guys who are operating to be able to talk to their incident commander, as opposed to it kind of being like a whole big relay. So there were some good upkeep, like changes to it, which is
Yeah.
unfortunately what's kind of changed the factor of, I know when we spoke at budget time, hey, we're only looking at doing this because we were told only X amount of information.
Right.
Now we got the final of it and it's like, well, why are we going to deplete ourselves and kind of make it so that we want to be able to talk to people and communicate between the different radio frequencies. So, as a safety factor, as chief of the department, I think it's a big thing.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, the number did go up a little bit.
And you mentioned that one of the lines is a fundraiser line that you're
Yes.
tapping. I think that these are great. This is a great communication piece that you can use, saying, hey, this is what we're putting the money towards. We're raising funds specifically to pay for radios. I think far too often people see fundraisers, they don't really know what the money goes towards. And I think, knowing that it's going towards a specific piece of equipment that's going to save lives or protect lives, adds emphasis to that fundraiser. So I'd really love to see you do some, strategic fundraising associated with this project. I think it'd be a real home run. I don't like the idea of taking money out of the truck fund because I think we all know it's underfunded as it is.
Yeah.
It just means that next time you go buy a big rig, we're going to be short anyway, but we're going to be short an extra 40 grand. So I'm not crazy about that, but of course I want your entire department to have the proper radios. So of course I'm supportive of what you're looking to do.
Okay, I appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Do you happen to know what the maintenance on the radios or if there's a lease associated with the cost moving forward?
Cost moving forward is gonna be hard to say. So, I mean, the only thing I can relate to is that, so this is a Motorola product. Currently, our VHF frequency that we use for our fire grounds right now, we have Motorola radios. I've been in the department for almost over 13 years, and I believe they were purchased before my time. And we've had minor incidents where like, antenna goes bad or needs a new battery. So I mean, as far as upkeep, Motorola is a very good product and, they're at least guaranteeing us anywhere from 10 to 15 years. And the ones we have now are surpassing that. So, granted different frequencies, different capabilities, but
Mhm.
Motorola is a very good product. So
Yeah.
the upkeep is minimal.
Okay.
Is there any opportunity to sell your old equipment to anywhere?
So, as far as like the low band stuff, which was the old communications stuff in the Putnam 911, no one's really using that.
Okay,
No.
So
that's
yeah,
what I assumed.
it's
yeah.
gonna be tough. The VHF side of it, what we currently use on our fire grounds, we are still keeping some of those portables. We do have, we are still keeping some of them for the sake of, when we do dip into Connecticut every once in a while in New Fairfield, they do operate on that VHF frequency. Granted, the new portables will have that capability, but it's good to have some extras, and we're also operational, kind of save some money within this purchase. Like our fire police end of it, we're still keeping them on the VHF side. So
Yeah.
just so it's, operational wise, I guess the commander, we don't need to hear what color car keeps going by. We're trying to operate a fire,
Mhm.
but
I
Thank
think
you.
it'll be great. If
Once-
there's a
once you get-
countywide emergency, it's gonna be, you'll see the
the
benefit.
capability is gonna be great. And
Yeah.
the new like TAC channels and everything we're gonna have in them, like,
Mhm.
recently Orange County bush fire, we went up a few days and it participated. If we would have had these new radios sooner, they could just flash the radios that TAC channel and we can communicate with them right up there.
Wow, that's
So
great.
it's definitely a huge, improvement by all means.
Once the paperwork's done, when do you have the radios in your hand?
So that's the fun part. So once paperwork's done and we go through our contractor, we're looking anywhere from 6 to 8 months.
Huh.
Yeah, they are, Motorola doesn't exactly like have a whole bunch on hand, so they do kind of build them to spec. So yeah, we're looking at 6 to 8 months, then install programming, which that's usually a shorter time period. So we're shooting somewhere towards the end of the year.
Okay.
And we're doing this, trying to beat the price increase,
Mhm.
Yeah,
which is coming
that's
down the road very
yes,
soon.
yes.
Thank you.
Is everybody comfortable with this?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay.
You know what you're doing?
Yeah, I'll make a motion.
So you're gonna have to make a motion to approve the overall amount plus the moving all the money from the restricted accounts.
Is it just the total 262?
Well, you're gonna approve the amount of the total 262, but you're also going to approve because we've got money, they're holding money in restricted accounts, so we have to approve. They're moving that money from the restricted accounts.
It's like a big budget transfer.
I
Yeah.
understand, but I'm not gonna sit here doing the math.
No, you
No,
don't have to do
just-
that.
No.
Just read each one.
Okay, then we got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I make a motion to accept the fire department request to transfer. Thank you very much. I still make a motion to accept the Patterson Fire Department request to transfer some funds to pay for the new radio system. So the funds that we're looking at are Building Reserve Fund, $25,000. Radio project, $106,693.82. The airbag replacement, $19,931.35. Hydro testing, $5,000. Truck fund of $4,000 that Sean was mentioning. So that leaves a total restricted funds, $196,625.17. And the remainder of the project, $62,200 from the unrestricted funds for the Patterson Fire Department. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
you.
Thanks for everything you guys are doing.
I have I have a resolution here, the resolution approving a license agreement with Putnam County Land Trust. So what we have here is the Putnam County Land Trust has a piece of property on Bullet Hole Road. They would like to make an agreement with the town so that they can design at their expense and build and maintain a driveway or an opening with some parking spaces for the public to have access to this property. So do we have any questions on?
Actually, I'd like to ask a question. Who is doing the work? The land trust,
The land-
but, subject to inspection of the town,
Mhm.
Of
right?
course.
Okay.
Okay.
It's subject to site plan approval, all of the different, they have to still go through the entire approval process with the town. This is just, if they get those approvals, will allow them to put the parking area on the town right of way area. With, of course, the appropriate insurance in place and appropriate indemnifications included in a license agreement.
Obviously sounds like a good idea. We don't want people parking all along Bullet Hole Road. But I'm gonna ask one more question. Is this subject to notification to the residents surrounding this or?
See, yeah, that would be the site plan process. There's only
Oh,
one
okay.
resident and they're directly across the street.
Oh, okay. All right. Sounds good to me.
We're all good?
Actually, there's two. Yeah, I'm forgetting about Henry.
Okay, having said all that, move this resolution forward and ask that it be entered into the record as though read. So moved.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Hey, other business.
Park surveys. So,
Oh, I skipped right over you.
oh, that's fine. Other business, I wanted to
Would've
thank
stayed
you and the
on.
highway department for getting the banners back up for Veterans Day.
Labor of love. Park survey.
On March 31st, 2025, the town sent out letters to 198 homeowners, asking them if they would like to be part of one of our two park districts, one being Putnam Veteran Park, Park, and the other one being Putnam Lake Park District. So of the 198 homeowners, we had a 15.6% response, which apparently is probably better than one would expect. And the responses were 58% of people want to be involved in, want to be part of one of the park districts. 40%, 42% do not want to be part of the park districts. Some requested Veterans Parks and some requested Putnam Lake. So I guess I want to open this up for discussion with the board. To see how we move from here.
I think if you send a survey to 200 people and only 30 of them, less than 30, take the time to fill it out and only half of those people actually even would want to be considered, that's only 15 people or 15 households. Remember we were kicking
A little more than half,
Well,
18, 13,
Okay,
yeah,
so,
yeah,
but you have less than 20 households of those surveyed that would actually want to be included. It
absolutely.
almost seems like we just need to have the opportunity to fill out an application without redistricting. Fill out an application to be included in the park and limit it to a certain number, so you're not exceeding, capacities of the park, and then add them in as a district. Let them apply to the town and say, I'd like to be added into this park
On a
district.
household by household.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that many people.
Well, we
Yeah.
talked about that, but it has to be redistricted for,
Well, remember in Putnam Lake,
certain
we had
reasons.
talked about allowing people to apply that.
People can go into the park as an out-of-district
Out of
unit.
district.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so why not just do something like that? And instead of doing a whole rigmarole of redistricting, and because redistricting, you can't just do 3 houses on a block. You
That's
have to do
right.
The whole block. And there doesn't seem to be a strong desire.
I like that option, but is that an option?
Well, based on the response of the survey, I would say, yeah, that is
Yeah.
definitely an
Okay.
option. It is probably more of an option for Veterans Park than it is for Putnam Lake. So I would agree that maybe that's the track that we want to take at this point. I'm a little bit surprised because I thought there was gonna be more of a response to the survey. And certainly more of a response that people wanted to go into a park district.
Yeah.
But the fact that we've got a number of responses, I mean, one whole development said no for the most part.
Right.
It's surprising. So I would suggest, we will leave it to the park advisory boards if they want to come back with a proposal. For allowing out of district users.
Yeah.
We'll kick it back that way.
Yeah, but now would they pay through their tax bill at that
No.
point? Or They
No,
would just
It would be
pay,
a separate charge.
Yeah.
okay.
Right.
Yeah, I think because it brings up the, the interest in, well, if we have people, and I brought this up at one of the last meetings, if we have people that can opt in, why can't I opt out? Because I don't use it, and I think that, we're better off
This way.
handling it through an application.
And
It's
that,
such a
that,
small number of people.
right, and that fee would go to the park districts?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Great.
All right, we'll send a memo to the park advisory boards and
Great,
for their
thank you.
input.
And certainly a big thank you to Sonia Taylor for. her work
Yes,
on this.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
Putting it together. Over at the rec center, they had a problem with one of the HVAC units, so while they were working there, they noticed that the evaporation pan or condensate pan, on one of the units is failing, it's drip leaking. So we have a proposal from Atlantic Westchester Commercial HVAC Solutions to replace that pan. And I asked the board that we approve, this quote for the amount of $1,887 to be paid to Atlantic Westchester Commercial HVAC Solutions for changing that pan. So moved.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Now,
Now,
other business. Any board member have any other business they wish to bring up at this time?
Yeah,
I got one thing.
wanna go ahead and start.
Sure, simple.
Yeah.
It's, some of those kids that I see now being lifeguards,
Mhm.
we're friends with my daughter when they were in strollers, so I'm feeling old. Just now they're taller than me and they're gonna be out of the, so I just wanted to share that.
You're feeling old.
Yes. But I'm happy for them.
I simply wanted to recognize all the hard work from this past weekend's Memorial Day. I almost said celebration, but you know what I mean.
ceremony.
Ceremonies, thank you. Especially in Putnam Lake where Meg, you and everyone involved over there just go above and beyond for the town of Patterson. And it was fantastic. Rich, to all the work that you put in. It was
Not
really
that
a
much.
great day to honor. And just think we should take a moment to at least appreciate the work that was put in by so many people to make that a beautiful event on both Patterson, over by the Memorial Park and in Putnam Lake.
I would echo Sean's sentiments that over in Putnam Lake, you do an amazing job on Memorial Day, setting that all up with the parade and organizing it all. And then making Scotty look so good.
And to add to that, I wanted to thank the Highway Department and Rich Williams as well as Dennis Mays for, I believe that we're one of the only towns in the area that takes the banners down for the winter so that they don't get destroyed.
You are the only town.
So they get taken down, they get washed, they get dried, and then they get reinstalled before Memorial Day.
I think other towns got angry at us for going above and beyond.
That's
And
fine.
Great work for them.
But,
huh?
yeah.
But anyway, superb job by the Highway Department and everyone else who's involved in that,
yes, thank
that
you.
thing.
Thank you.
And also thank you for the fire department for sending over the ladder truck with the flag over 311
It's
on
awesome.
Monday.
Yes,
That was a nice touch. Thank you.
Yeah, very nice.
Barry?
Who do you want me to thank? Well, actually, I can make a small announcement. A Patterson resident, her name is Annie Sullivan. And some of you probably know her. She just had her first debut single solo album. She's now a resident of Nashville. I work with her mom in Brewster Schools, and it's on Apple Music if you want to hear it. And I signed up for that free 3 months for Apple Music, and I'm telling you that this song captures you right away. It's a little country song and it's awesome. She's going places,
What's the name
definitely.
again?
Annie Sullivan.
Annie Sullivan.
Yeah, you have to
That's
listen to
a-
it. It's You. The title of the single is You.
Got it.
It's awesome. It really is. She used to perform at the board meetings, do the, the national anthem, and I've always said she had a beautiful voice, and you'll appreciate it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I feel a little bit put out here because I don't have anything as good, but I do have, it was handed me tonight, a non-bid procurement request form for the purchase of copy paper because apparently it has gone on sale with Staples. So we would like to make a purchase, I'd like to approve the purchase of a pallet of copy paper. The amount of $1,519.60, plus whatever delivery charges to be added onto that. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Hi,
That is it for me.
question. Do you have somewhere to put that paper pallet?
Yeah.
That whole pallet of paper?
Yes, we do.
That's a lot of
Say
paper.
that 10 times
We're
fast.
gonna share all
Palette
of
paper?
the court in minutes.
All right. Public recognition. Is anybody joining us tonight? No. Please state your name and address for the record. Make your comments.
Meg Kearney, 213 Fairfield Drive. So the first thing I want to say is, you were talking about Memorial Day, but the people that have to get the credit are Putnam Lake. You saw it. We had hundreds of people there. So the people came out. It's a wonderful event. You know, I love that everybody wants to bring flowers to the monument. So Putnam Lake is special. So
We have
thank
to add that the largest round of applause was for the young lady sitting in the back of the room, our tax receiver.
yes, that's.
Mhm.
By
Yeah.
far, that was the loudest round of
It
applause.
was.
People, Matt Slater said, that was for a tax receiver.
Meg got a pretty good round of applause too.
So I've got a couple hats on today. So the first one is for the Brewster Elks. They are having a carnival from June 5th to June 8th. So I hope people will come out and support them.
Is that a first for them?
Yes,
Yeah, I've never seen a carnival there.
so that's number one.
That should be nice.
On June 10th, the Putnam Lake VFW is having a Meet the Candidate night at 7 p.m. So I hope people will come and support our candidates. And then my next one is for the Patterson Rec. So the first one is Friday, June 27th. They're going to have kickball for high school students 9 through 12 at Cornwall Meadows.
Where is that again?
The Cornwall Meadow Field.
Oh, on, yeah,
Yes.
behind the
And then
recycling center, yes.
We still have
I got
openings for
confused.
multi-camp. The weeks of July 14th to 21st, August 4th, and August 11th. They run from 9 to 4. Registration for our pre-K program has opened up, ages 2.5 to 5. And on July 12th, the Southern Duchess Concert Band will be at the Recreation Center at 6 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you, Meg.
Thank you.
George, I think you've got some competition.
Yeah.
It's a tough one to follow.
I know.
Okay. First off, George Disraeli, Tammany Hall Road, library trustee. As you probably all know, we had a groundbreaking ceremony for beginning of our adult library extension. I'd like to thank all of you who were able to make it. It was very nice and a nice little reception afterwards. Before the meeting started, I put out on your desk our annual report.
So got
You should have,
them.
residents should have gotten them, hopefully this past week. If you haven't gotten them, hopefully next week. And what I try to do every May around this time is to just sort of review it a little bit. And I could bore you with all of the statistics with 56,000 items that were taken out, 14,000 digital downloads, 2,100 computers. So if I could bore you with all those statistics, but I'm not. I'd rather focus on community. So I've spent endless time preparing a 1.5 to 2 minute presentation. So here we go. And it's all about community. In here, we have over 20 community sponsors. Town of Patterson being one of them, fire department also being one of them. We have a number of sponsors who come and support through activities, things that are happening at the library. We try to offer a lot of activity, a lot of free things for our community. We offer a lot of, we have the free notary services, free, need the glasses now. Free technological help, Medicare drop-in assistance, tax help, homework help, free scanner and fax. And one of the big things that we have is our over 20 new free museum passes. And this is all to encourage our community to come in, share with us our facility, take advantage of the things that we have to offer at no cost to them. We've got a wonderful gazebo, park benches and picnic tables. Stop by and have lunch. Drive by and see what's going on with the addition. And please just take the time when you get this. Just don't toss it away, at least not right away. And look over it. And there's some nice photographs of teen programs, children's programs. And I think my 2 minutes are up. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
George.
Hello, Rachel Roberts, excuse me, 533 Lakeshore Drive. So on behalf of the Patterson Rotary, in conjunction with the Patterson Library, we'll be having a Touch a Truck event at the Patterson Firehouse. That will be June 14th, Saturday, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And this is a free event. We encourage all families to come out. And then secondly, another event on behalf of Patterson Community Church, we'll be having our grab and go chicken barbecue on June 8th from 12 to 3 p.m.
Thank you.
Thank you. Very nice.
I have a comment on the chicken.
Yeah.
Comment on the chicken?
Yeah,
Oh,
because
sure. Yeah.
Rachel had the barbecue 2 weeks ago, whatever it was. And I went over, I got a big chunk of chicken and some coleslaw and brought it home. And if you saw me and my wife, how ravenously we ate it. I'm glad there's no video of it. But we were hungry, we didn't cook, and you saved me the time of cooking dinner. So go to this one again. You know, don't plan dinner that night, go there.
Very good.
Thank you. Anyone else joining us tonight wish to make any comments or ask any questions of the town board? Hearing none, we'll turn it to our members joining us by Zoom. If anybody joining us by Zoom wishes to ask any questions or make any comments, if you would please unmute, state your name and address for the record.
Good evening. This is Gwen Doherty. My address is 426 Ice Pond Road in Patterson. Good evening, everybody.
Good
So
evening.
I have a good evening. I have a question, and then actually I have two questions. First one is, what is the exact address of the Putnam Land Trust on Bullet Hole Road that's looking to put the driveway parking lot in, please?
Anybody have
I
it
have it.
in front of them?
It's
Papers.
Gwen, it's basically when you turn on Bullet Hole from your house, it's that property that's been being mowed where the dairy barn used to sit.
Okay, so is it on, so from on Bullet Hole, it's on the north side, not the south side of Bullet Hole?
Yes.
No.
No, it's on the
It's on-
south side. It's across from the farmhouse, across from the old white Burdick farmhouse.
It's on the east side.
So it's on the southeast corner.
410.
Yeah.
410.
I mean, but there's no number there, so it's hard to give.
No,
you
the
an
number
address.
is, the number is 410.
Yeah.
If you
Okay.
Googled it, though.
So I think that runs adjacent to my property, which is
Yeah.
very interesting. I'm glad I joined the call tonight. Who knew?
Yeah.
And so what I would say is I'm not objecting, first of all, I'll throw that out there. Obviously the land trust is public land and a preserve and trails is a pretty cool idea for that property. But what I would throw out is we live really close to Ice Pond Road Preserve. And there is a lot of activity there that happens after dark. Not my problem, right? That's not what I'm calling about either. But really, just what I would encourage you to think about is, are there hours of operation that maybe that preserve on the corner of Ice Pond does operate? And then also the restriction of fires on that property is something I would request. It's very, very wooded. There's a ton of underbrush. I do go down to Ice Pond Preserve on a regular basis, and there are fires that happen in there, typically at the top of the mountain. I can't comment whether it was during the burn restriction or not. That's not, I don't remember, but just there's a few things like that that I think might be important to think about as you open that land up to the public.
That land's already open to the public. This is just providing parking, but I understand your concerns. And those are
True.
things that would probably be consistent with every Putnam Land Trust property because they're all run in the, under the same guiding principle.
Gwen, I can
Right.
certainly give you concerns to Judy Terlizzi, who's president of the Putnam Land Trust.
Yeah, and I agree, they're open to the public now, but I will tell you, I've never seen anyone on that land.
Because there's no
And
hiking
so-
trails.
No, exactly. That's what I mean. There's no easy
Yeah.
access. And by the way, it's fairly thick back there. And so I think the fire restriction may be a good idea simply for fire safety in this area. Obviously down behind, as you run down along the preserve, not just from that Ice Pond Road Bullet Hole corner, but that runs all the way down to the Ice Pond itself. And that is incredibly wooded. And so that's one thing I would really stress is probably going to be important for public safety is a fire restriction. And then obviously hours of use would be my other concern. And then finally, where is the actual parking lot going to be? Is it going to be access off of Bullet Hole Road or off of Ice Pond?
Off a bullet hole.
Okay, very good. Okay, so that was not the question I planned to ask. So my second question is, does the town of Patterson plan to hold an e-waste recycling event anytime over the summer or into the early fall? And a little context for this is that many of the towns around us have held them. And they typically limit they limit what they'll receive to their own town residents. And so Patterson residents aren't, for example, able to go to Carmel or to Kent, who recently had these e-waste recycling events, and drop off old microwaves, old TVs, plug-in cords, literally old, even handheld appliances, but just things that otherwise are recyclable. And so that was why I'm asking. And then the second thing is just as a note of fact that the companies that receive the actual e-waste, they will do a free event for a town, provided the town does not charge the residents to dispose of items. So just throwing that out there. If you haven't done any investigation on this, it is something that is fairly simple to do. But curious if we have one planned, because I heard a lot of people mentioning this because they had seen the announcement from both Kent and Carmel recently.
So the answer is no, we're not gonna have a special event. We have done a lot of research on this, and we're not gonna have a special event because if you're a resident of the town of Patterson, you can get a permit to use the recycling center, and you can go there anytime the recycling center is open and drop off your e-waste. You don't need to have a special event.
And does it cost anything to get that permit to drop off stuff?
So it certainly costs something to get the permit, and there are perhaps some charges related to the e-waste you're dropping off. But most of the e-waste is free.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else joining us by Zoom have any questions or comments for the board? Hearing none, I'll make a motion to go into executive session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Cool.